What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone for another daily news show where we're going to talk about excuses or facts because Tudor was angry post game, really angry about the refereeing, the VAR, the times that Napoli are playing, or the amount of time Napoli have rest and etc. And he was going completely off track, in my opinion. Even though he made a good point when it came to the refereeing, but it's not him that needs to talk about the refereeing. It needs to be the club. I'm not going to blame him, for the club not doing it, but when he moved towards Napoli is getting more rest and that area of conversation, he completely lost me. And I do not like that the focus is all on that right now when we were not good enough. If he stick to we were tired and we couldn't, today it was impossible and that's on me or whatever, I can deal with that a little bit. But he was making too many things, too many excuses, like it's a valid reason. The refereeing was bad, it was really bad, but I'll keep repeating it. If the club doesn't come out to say certain things, it's pointless. It's completely pointless, and it comes across like weird, and it comes across like we don't want to talk about the real issues when it comes to football. But before we get into it, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go, because we play bad. We play bad. And the refereeing, people know, if you watch the channel, I don't like to talk about the refereeing a lot of the times unless it's actually crazy or unless it's the reason we didn't win that game. And according to Tudor, that's the reason we didn't win that game, and he said that pen was never a pen. And I agree, because ex referees came out already post game and said this is never a pen. The fact that VAR called him is strange. The fact that he actually gave it, even when he saw that tape, makes it a bit weirder as well, because it's not a pen. Joe Mario's not looking at the ball. His hand is over here. He's not going towards the ball. Like, it's not going to a Verona player. It doesn't really change direction. He said it's never a pen. So that's a fact you can talk about. Is that a red from Orban? 100%. Cambiasso got a red, Kalulu got a red, Yildiz got a red. That's 100% a red card. And Tudor is right to say that those were insane mistakes, and the refereeing on that day was bang average. He has 100%, he's 100% correct. However, the club the club management board, they need to speak about it. If these things happen to this extent, because even in the second half, I don't know, somebody hit who was it in the was it Atsic? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it was watching UFC, not football. At one point it was getting ridiculous. But at that point, the club should come out and say, you know what, Tudor is not speaking today, we're not doing it, we will speak, because what happened today is not real. Like, refs make mistake. That's why I don't really complain, because at times they go against you, at times they go for you. But I agree, on the day it was ridiculous. Like, it was mistake on mistake, and it was boneheaded mistake, like violent mistake. Like, it was like actually trying to hurt players. Like, it wasn't like, a 50-50 challenge. It was really bad. So at that point, if the club came out and they were like, Tudor is not speaking, we are going to speak, I will come out and I will applaud that. But when Tudor does that right now, it takes away from what we actually should be talking about, or he should be talking about. He went on and he said, actually, fitness was an issue today. He said, we were tired and we couldn't keep up with it anymore at one point. That's a true fact, because we've seen it with our own eyes, and two, a worrying fact, because if we look at the facts, Vlahovic didn't play, against Lille. He came on for 30 minutes, but he didn't play the full game. He didn't play the full game against Inter as well. On the other side, João Mario didn't play the full game. Gatti didn't play a full game. Locatelli got sub, fine. Thuram was knackered. It was ridiculous that he was out there at one point, because he really was struggling to keep up with the pace of the game. But it's worrying that, yes, there's tiredness, but we collapse completely. We can do absolutely nothing. And yeah, tiredness, but still not all of that. And he went on and he said, it's not just tiredness. We technically were poor. Conceição came out and said we misplayed so many passes, and he was kind of doing well, I thought, Tudor. It was like, you know what, he's going to talk about the issues. He said, Jonathan David and Openda, to play them, we need to change formation, which is an interesting debate in itself. He's not changing formation. So did he ask for Openda and David? When we signed them, was like, it's too much. You know, the Openda money should have then gone to somebody else. You know, if you didn't get Kolomani, who I do wanted and I think is a better fit for his team, then spend that money in a different area. Because right now, Tudor said, well, to play David and Openda, I need to change formation. I was like, oh, you're not doing it. So what does that mean? And then I thought he was done with talking. And then he came out and spoke about Napoli. And I was like, you cannot do that right now. He said, well, Napoli played 3 games in 9 days and we play 3 games in 7 days, you know, and that's not fair. If nobody speaks about it, everybody's going to brush it under the carpet, etc. I mean, okay, fine, 2 days. Like 2 days of rest is not the reason we got tactically outplayed by Verona. I'm sorry, it's not. I wish it was the reason. I really wish that I can come on and say, you know what, it's because of 2 days. We got outplayed. Like, let's be completely honest. In that second half, we got outplayed. And somebody said, oh, but they didn't create any chances. Being outplayed doesn't mean that opposition needed to create a lot of chances. Verona are not good. They lack a lot of quality up front, even with Orban, who finally had a good game for the first time, I don't know, in about 2 years, you know, because he was never good or consistent when he played over here in the Belgian league. And he's at Verona for a very good reason as well, you know. So when he said that, I was like, don't talk about Napoli. Why are you doing that? We were bad. We were not prepped. You're chucking in attacking players hoping they can make something happen. Zegrova, Openda playing on the left deep, then Jonathan David, but there's no plan behind it. You're just chucking them in hoping they break open the game. That should be the focus. That should be the talking point, not Napoli have 2 days more of rest. I'm like, we never did that in the past. We were one of those clubs who never did that. We just played our games and shut up. And we won because we were better. A lot of rest, no rest. We played our games and that's it. You know, even with 2 days of rest, we would have not won that game yesterday. We wouldn't. It's impossible. Even if Thuram had the legs, for example, because that was the really thing that, you know, stood out. Cambiasso was bad. Technically was poor. Vlahovic was not good. Thuram even technically wasn't good. Locatelli was technically poor. You know, Gatti was poor. It's not because of rest. Gatti has rested for weeks basically, and he was bad. You know, so it's not all on tiredness. So I don't want to hear him talk about Napoli saying they have 2 days more of rest. I don't want to become the club. If we become that type of club, then stop it. Just call the season already over. We're going absolutely nowhere. If that's going to be the focus from now on, every time we lose a game or drop points, it's the referee, it's Napoli get more rest. We are tired, but never talking about the real issue that, you know, tactically, Tudor, and we knew that, it's not a mastermind tactically. However, he didn't adapt in the game. Like, he struggled when he came out and said, well, for Openda and David, we need to change formation. I'm like, you're chucking him in. You're not changing formation, so what are you expecting? Like, I'm not sure what you're expecting from these two players. If you come out and say, for them to basically to perform, we need to change the formation. You're not doing it, so why are you just chucking them in out there? Like, who's going to help? Like, it's not going to help them. It's not going to help us because they look bad out there. David looks bad. Openda doesn't look good out there. That should be the focus. Those should be the talking points, you know? And again, the referee was bad, but as long as the club remains silent, I don't want to hear that. Barcelona, Real Madrid, when things go bad, they put out an official statement. If you want to do that, fine, be that type of club. Don't send out your coach after a bad result and let him go on a rant, you know, and everybody's looking at it like, buddy, like, yeah, but you're also bad on the pitch. Shouldn't we be talking about that? And the refereeing thing, you know, that's out to the board. But that's not the case at this club, you know. So I don't blame Tudor for that because he said, well, if nobody says that, this is literally what he said, then I'm going to talk about it. Otherwise, you know, it's going to keep on going on. And it's going to keep on going on. It's not because now Tudor spoke, the referee department is like, snap. We made a mistake and next time we're going to do much better. No, they think they're right. Even though it's clear they messed up. But that's not the reason why we didn't win that game because I have a feeling even if we don't concede that pen, at one point we were going to concede because I think Verona would have stepped it up even more in that second half, you know. But anyways, the game is gone. The points are gone. The focus should be on Atalanta right now. You have 6-7 days of rest. You can prep for it. If you don't see any improvements, you know, for 90 minutes up front, more cohesion, I don't know, just something that we can hold on to, because right now it's all individuals. There's no overlapping. There's no simple give and go. There's no triangles out there. It's just, playing volleyball in front of the box, sideways, hoping Yildiz does something, hoping Conceição does something. But we've seen it last season. Mota got sacked for that reason, because it wasn't good. At one point, obviously, we were losing games, ridiculously. But everybody was complaining about the same style of play. Right now, we're there. There's no pressing what Tudor likes. There's actually nothing what Tudor likes right now. We want to play transition football, but we don't do that. And we don't do that, we play Vlahovic, and Vlahovic looks horrible. So I don't know. A lot of questions, but I didn't like the way the presser went. From, yeah, you're right about the ref. That should be the club case. You did it. Fine. I'll accept it. To going to Napoli saying, oh, they have more rest. I'm not here for that at Juve. Not now, not never, ever. I'm not doing it. It needs to be ridiculous, like we play on Thursday and we play on Saturday. Then I'm like, okay, buddy, we got 1 day of rest. That's insane. But that never happened, And at one point, Napoli will get that the other way. They will have 3 games in 7 days. It is what it is. Don't complain about it, But that's just my opinion. In the comments, let me know what you think about that situation. Do you think he's right to talk about it? Which I think he is, but it should be the club. As long as the club remains silent, for me, it's all pointless to talk about it. That's how I view it. And what do you think about his comments when it came to Napoli getting 2 days more of rest? Let me know, and I will see you guys later tonight.